So
Uh,
it's all my fault.
I feel bad, but if I do that, maybe the kids will be making noise upstairs. I don't know.
What are you working on? My headphones cut out a second.
Oh no, I'm worried about the kids getting up and deciding to do whatever it is that they're doing.
Yes.
Hopefully they're sleeping. They're supposed to be sleeping. I think your camera's a little dirty. You look foggy.
It's entirely possible.
It's hard to tell if it's like, yeah, you just look a little foggy today.
So my basset hound um
May have licked it or something.
decided to do a shaky shake shake and got slobber
Oh, yeah.
everything. Am I clearer now?
Oh, there you are.
See, there we
Yeah,
go.
it was the Basset Hound shake that took you out.
It was like, so Adam was eating peanuts in the bed,
Ah, death candies.
and yeah, death candy's for you. So never come and have a slumber party at my house. And and the dog was just staring at him like, give me the peanuts. I need the peanuts. And there was drool everywhere. And she's not normally a drooler, but
But she
imagine
was so hungry.
the basset hound jowls drooling all over my bed. And then she's like, it flew all over. Like I
Oh
am looking
no.
at like a streak now that I can see really clearly with the dark zoom background.
And
So
it
that's
probably
my
goes
reality at the moment.
it goes really well with the permanent frosting
Yes,
mark
there is still a permanent like little white area where the frosting got on my trackpad
from the day
in
we
like the
tried to be
corner.
baker.
That was our most watched episode ever. Most watched episode. The
Just
time
because we
we
were a mess.
were amateur bakers on the internet. Hmm.
We shouldn't do that.
I
That
mean, the people obviously enjoyed it. So
people love
maybe.
like a good, for lack of a better term, shit show.
I
So,
mean, that's what Nailed It is all about. We kind of had our own
that
Nailed
was
It.
me. I
Yeah.
nailed it. As I got frosting all over your computer, I felt so bad.
I don't think it was you. I think I just set it up there and it kind of leaked out the
Well,
back,
we were
and
both working and we're like,
we were.
we're
It's
doing the
fine.
thing and
And your husband was like, "What the hell is wrong with you guys?" As if he
what,
hasn't known for the last 20 years what the hell
as
is
if
wrong with
he
us.
hasn't known what has been wrong with me and the people that I bring into my life. I'm like, I bring in very respectively loyal friends
Yes.
who are totally weird. And
Yep.
so, I don't know what you thought I would get like a normal relationship with somebody. And even after all these years, he's known you.
Hmm.
I don't know what he was
He knows.
expecting.
He knows what I've been up
He
to.
knows what he got into.
So, Angela, my 10-year-old, for anybody keeping track at home, said that all the boys think that she's weird. And I said, well,
That's a good sign.
Two things. One, someday you will find somebody who loves you for all the weirdness that you bring
Hmm.
to your life. And that's the person you're supposed to be with. And second, Chantal and I regularly send each other memes on how weird and
We are.
messed up we are. And we
And
love
how
each
our
other for it.
therapy is literally broadcasted for everyone to see. Like, we're going to sew and be nuts. It's going to be
Yeah, pretty
great.
much.
We like to
Uh,
collect dolls as adults because we're
because
nuts.
yeah, we are. We are definitely nuts.
So
Michelle the
I
quilter says that they enjoyed our baking episode.
I enjoyed it too. It was the tastiest episode by far.
It was definitely a tasty episode, that's true. But
Did we
I
share on
made a
that
lot of
episode?
progress. Oh,
Oh,
go ahead. Go
I was
ahead.
gonna
We
say,
can
did we
still
share on
do.
that episode what happened to the faux peanut butter cookies?
I don't know. So I was supposed to be like the sage for the baking, and
Because I
Chantal
have no idea.
was my student. And
I was the mortal and she was the
yeah,
wizard, per
and
se.
I had all of this planned. Like we had gotten all the ingredients. It was good to go. I had planned out what like were like our die hard, we're going to do these cookies, and these are the ones that will be nice to do. And then this is like that if we have time.
We
And we made it
had
through
pounds and pounds
quite
of
a bit.
flour.
Yeah, that we had like I think 20 pounds of flour. And at least 10 pounds of butter. It was a lot. It was fun. We were on our feet for like 13 hours. My feet were killing me the next day.
Yeah,
But um
mine
so
too.
we're on like our first one of our first ones, and we were making peanut butter blossoms, which you roll in sugar, and then when they come out of the oven, you put the little um Hershey kiss in and let it
Except
set.
I'm allergic to peanuts. So
She
we were
is
using sun butter instead of peanut butter. And so we didn't know how they were going to turn out. So after
mhm.
rolling them and baking them, we
A
tried
whole
them.
batch of like at least 36. More like it was probably more like 50. I
Well,
think
I
it was like
mean,
50
it
or
couldn't have
60.
gone wrong. Like it tastes like a healthy peanut butter. It doesn't taste
Yes.
like Jif, okay? Because I used to not
Yeah.
be allergic to peanuts, but it tastes like the organic peanut butter.
Yeah.
It's pretty close.
So we're
Oh,
doing this and we go
we
to taste test it and we're like, that's really salty. Like
they were awful.
nastily salty. And our two daughters were like, this is good. And we're like, you're insane. And come to find
They were
out,
insane.
we did a little taste test on the bowl of sugar that I was rolling them in, and I made a very rookie baker move and did not roll them in sugar. I rolled them in straight up salt. I had poured Morton salt into
We
a bowl
assaulted them.
and we put salt over all, so we redid it. And thankfully, your husband was amenable to going and getting us more alcoholic beverages and Hershey Kisses from Costco so we could remake
Well,
them
we
because
were
we
like
used them
trying to
all.
peel the Hershey Kisses off,
Oh, it was so
and
bad.
it was nuts. And so I was like, okay, good. I she's a little
If
mortal too, half
I messed
mortal.
it up too. I mess things up. I mess up a lot of things in baking. Remy, what on earth do you think you're doing? There is a little door over here that leads to a bathroom area, which
Hmm.
is not really a bathroom area. It is a toilet in the middle of our unfinished basement with the sink next to it.
It's a Midwest
Yes.
basement
Like
bathroom.
if you're gonna drop trow there, anybody who's over there doing laundry is gonna see all your business as you're doing it. And but the door is there so that someday maybe we can like finish it and then I can have like a little
So
ensuite
nobody's
bathroom down
seeing
there.
you drop
Yeah.
trow in your sewing slash playroom.
But Remy really thinks he needs to get over there right now. And
Uh-oh.
I'm like,
Is there a
no.
critter?
I mean, it's possible. I don't smell a dead
A
mouse
critter?
currently. Normally I'm well aware that there's a critter
Oh
when
yeah.
that happens. But
Basement life.
yeah, pretty much. But
We have some traps and stuff down here, and Cubby has to go check them as soon as he comes downstairs to see if there's anything so he can possibly get it first.
let's see. Who do we have on today?
I got to pull
Twyla
up my computer
also
here.
very much enjoyed the baking episode. So
We got to do a summer baking episode.
apparently we need to do it again. Um, it probably also I have drank like one high noon an hour since like noon to about midnight when we were on.
Oh yeah,
I
I
I had
may have
so much
helped with
alcohol that
that.
day.
It
It
was
was it
a
was a lot. It was a
it was a
lot.
busy day.
She did not she made sure I did not have an empty hand at all that day.
I
And
I kind of
your husband was responsible for our children. They survived. It was all good.
they took care of themselves practically.
They did. It's nice when they're about the same age. It works out quite well. Let's see. We got Joan from Oregon is on. Barbara says hi. Colleen says hi from Idaho. We got Teresa from Colorado. Barbara missed us. We missed you guys too. We were on spring
Yeah.
break. It wasn't a 2 week spring break, but our spring breaks did not coincide because our schools,
Spring.
they don't collaborate with each other, unfortunately. So we decided we were going to actually take the time away and not try to do this while we were with our families. Remy is still trying to get into this space. I don't think he's smart enough to realize that he can literally walk around to the other side of the basement and still access where he wants to go. The brain cell is not fully
It's just not
functioning at the
there.
moment.
Not there.
He's got like
That's all
one, maybe
right.
two. He needs the third in order to figure it
The
out.
third brain cell. He's missing
Uh,
it. That's funny. Yeah, spring break wasn't very restful if you have kids.
no, it's
There's
not.
no break in spring break.
There's
So,
just survive.
oh, and clearly we were just surviving getting on tonight. My husband's on call and is has not been home yet today, and he left at 6:30 this morning.
I
Um,
was just wholly distracted. I
that's
have no
okay too.
excuse.
That's usually me. I'm usually the one that's fully distracted and, you know, that's all good. I'm not even set up. I'm like standing here,
Yeah,
like
I'm not
looking at
either.
you.
I'm like attempting to plug in my sewing machine.
I don't
I
even know what I'm
was
doing.
so the last time we were talking about books and how we like drove headlong into this romanticy
We
thing.
have a problem.
We do. It's a good problem. And so Chantel and I have
That's why
been
it's not a problem,
we're
she
working on a
thinks.
little bit of a secret a project that we'll reveal at some point. But I've had like a series of books swirling around in my head for like 20 years. My degree is actually in English with creative writing emphasis. So like
It's her
this is
thing.
how my mind works. I love it. And
I'm
um
listening. I'm just popping over here real quick.
so after like diving headfirst into this, I'm finally like, why not try and write this? I mean, I could fail, but then I've gotten it out. It's fun. I've done it, why not? And so, Brittany finished Onyx Storm. Did Have you recovered yet? This is my question because I felt like I had a hole in my heart when I finished that book. And
She does have a hole in her heart.
I do, I literally
And
texted
not in a
Chantel.
snarky way. Like she's really sad.
I texted Chantel this week that was rereading the series for the third time because I'm that obsessed. And I was like, I had physical anxiety symptoms for
She did.
Xaden, a fictional character, because apparently my body can no longer tell that he is not a real person.
I'm really sorry he's not real.
Brittany has the big crying emoji. But
Oh, Brittany, I miss you, girl. When are you gonna come over again?
but um but
She
anyway, so
brings
I
her
started
kids
writing
over
this.
and we have, you know, type B parent
Yes.
hangouts. It works out really well. So
Yeah.
go ahead. Sorry.
Anyway, so I finally I'm not like writing the book. I'm writing the outline, but like basically whenever I'm at the gym, I'm listening to Taylor Swift Reputation because I feel like that is the
Hmm.
vibe
That
of
is the vibe. You're
this
right.
female character for the second book
It's intense.
when she's like coming into her own. And I was writing this line of dialogue that I thought was really, really funny. And where she's just like horribly frustrated in the moment, and I was like, I have to get this out before I come down here. So
So
that's
that's
why
what you
I
were
was
doing.
late. That's why I was late. I was writing dialogue that I thought was incredibly hilarious and breaks up a really intense section. So that's
I
what I was
was
up to.
that, I mean, and that has been the running theme for her for several weeks. So she kind of got into this story with me when we were on the cruise.
I've
Um,
changed it quite a bit though
oh
since
no,
I
it
talked to
has
you.
been, but
The
the
whole third book is totally going to be different
yes, but
than what I originally envisioned it as.
what I could comprehend of the whole thing and keep up with has generally stayed within an umbrella, right?
It has mostly. I fleshed stuff
Mostly.
out,
Oh yeah, you
but
flushed a lot out.
yeah,
But at the same time, this has been like a long time coming.
it has.
So
And it's just been in here
you haven't
and
had time to take it
yeah,
out of you because you were building all those quilts that are behind you.
yes, I was. This is true. And
You were
now
so busy with that that you
it's
weren't able
coming.
to do this.
It's coming out, but we'll see. But
It's going
it's
to be
fun.
good.
Yeah,
That and so every conversation we've had has been about that, which is a nice difference from
it is.
what, you know, now we hold many hobbies together.
We do.
we're we're holding it all together.
Literally, my husband is like, "Is Chantel doing all this stuff with you?" I'm like, "Oh yeah,
Oh
we're
yeah.
starting a thing." And he's like, "You two are insane." I'm like, "Oh well, that's fine."
Yeah, no, you knew what you were getting into too, sweetheart.
No,
Not as much as
literally.
John.
So
I mean,
Chantel and I are like very actively reading a book together right now for a secret project we're working on. And he walked into the room after I was preparing for um something that we were working on together. And the first chapter, I got those little tiny skinny sticky notes because I don't like
mhm.
writing in my books.
Oh, I
And
love to write in my
they
books.
were like just
Just
tabs
covered.
everywhere. just tabs all over the place with like little notes everywhere. And I had my computer up because I was also making like a actual like 10-page sheet of notes of this for Chantal and I to go over. And single space because this is how I roll. And he looks at me and he looks at this crazy thing and he goes, "This is why I love you." Because of this
Oh,
right here and how crazy your brain is. And I was like, "Thank you."
I'm not sure I get a lot of these. This is why I love you. I get a lot of the I tolerate you because you have passion moments,
Yes. I mean,
but
that counts.
that is almost the same thing.
I think that's the same thing. But
For John, probably yes.
yes,
I
stoic
tolerate
John.
and I let you get excited. So when he talks about dirt bikes, I talk about fixing sewing machines because I've taken
Perfect.
some of those classes on like how to tinker with my machines and all of
Hmm.
this stuff. And so that now we have like common ground because he'll be talking about parts being hard to find or how hard it is to get into these small tight spots or the fact that he has to order something from China and I'm like yeah I get it or you have to find an old part and now we have
Yeah.
something in common basically we we used to talk to each other like he'd talk about this and I'd talk about that we just stack our conversations but we never really like crossed
Yes, I understand that.
conversation and now sometimes we cross conversation just a little
This
bit.
is very much how my husband and I are now because he will tell me about his day and all the craziness that he encounters. And I'm like, but I came up with this cool plot point.
Yes, so you're
Or I'm
you're doing the
talking,
John and Chantal.
yes.
You're like, I'm
Or
here and you're here, and I'm here
or
and
I'm
you're
talking
here.
about like Zayden Ryerson for the 10 millionth time. And yes,
I mean, your book boyfriends are very important.
he is very important to me. Very important to me. I have to take a
Very
break from
important.
Fourth Ring because it's become obsessive. It's very
Hmm.
bad at this point.
I haven't even started it yet. This
He is
woman
a
has been
23-year-old
devouring books.
23-year-old fictional man, and I'm a 40-year-old overweight woman who is not going to ride a dragon. And I don't know why.
Oh, I
Oh,
mean, I've been, secretly hoarding Regency romance books in my life for years. So I feel like everybody's just following me on trend. They just
so
decided that they like things to have some magic in it because they grew up on Harry Potter. And that's my
so
theory, and I'm sticking to it.
I think what it is he has such good lines of like professing love. Like
Yes.
it's like beyond. Like there's no doubt
Like my
that
husband, that's like, I
yeah,
tolerate you.
yeah, there's none of that. It's like and it's way better than this is why I love you because your mind is so warped and weird. Like
That
it's
is a good line, though. I
is
mean,
a
I
good
would
one.
soak that one up as much as I could
I mean, it was definitely a love, like a little warming your heart line for
yeah,
us, for
for
sure.
us.
But Colleen says her husband talks about guitars and she talks about quilting and sewing machines, so they just
Yep.
go back and
They
forth with
just
each other.
kind of do this
It
thing.
works.
You're
It
just
works.
walking up the ladder, different ladders, but you're going up together.
Well, it's kind of weird for us now because we worked together for so long in the business
That's true.
that
You had a lot of overlap.
everything, yeah, there's so
So
much
before it
overlap.
was the same
Yeah.
ladder. Now you're walking up different ladders in the
Now I'm
conversation.
hearing about like UPS politics and who's got what on the route, and
Do
I've
you
got
hear
to do
about the
my
dogs?
stretches. I hear about some of the dogs.
Okay.
There was a very adorable dog story. So my husband is a UPS driver for anybody who does not know. And he comes across some shop dogs every now and again. And before I tell the story, we used to foster and adopt dogs and a lot of senior dogs. So we've had upwards of a dozen dogs in our 15-year marriage.
Yeah, don't think that they
Yeah,
are like
we have a lot of
dog
dogs in our house.
recyclers. No, they've
No,
just gotten old dogs, and so
yeah.
you'll hear
We
continually a new dog name.
we always would either foster or adopt seniors or hard to place dogs. Like we've had more than two blind dogs. And like that's what we did before we had kids and, responsibilities. And but anyway,
Yeah.
so we are dog people. We reek of dog. Our house reeks of dog.
Yeah. So
There's
does
no
mine.
escaping it. And oh no, mine is way worse than yours, let me tell
That's
you.
because mine doesn't have any carpet.
True. Anyway, so he goes to work, he smells like the dogs. And this guy had gotten a rescue dog, and it sounded a lot like one of our rescue dogs that like was taking a really long time to get out of its shell. And that dog would not come up to its owner, its new owner. Like he would sleep in the bed with it, but that was it. It was just scurrying around the rest of the time. Wouldn't come close to anybody. My husband walks in. That dog is running up to him, smelling him, running away, running up and smelling, running away constantly.
Oh,
That dog got closer to my husband in the 10, probably not even 10 minutes, probably a couple minutes he was in the shop handing this package off to hear the story of this dog than it had gotten to its new owner who rescued it from the shelter in like a week. So
that kind of makes me
he's got the
sad though.
magic touch. He's got the magic touch.
That poor owner is probably like, my dog likes the UPS guy better than me.
Well, the UPS guy smells like two basset hounds and a cocker spaniel, so that's
So is
probably
that the
why.
key?
I think so. You got to smell like a dirty dog, and then the
Like,
dog's
you
like,
just come
"Okay, you're my
over and roll
people."
in our carpet. It'll be fine.
But let's see. Brittany's like in the third book when he calls her love. Yeah, I know. It just melts your heart. Melts your heart. I also, though, so over spring break, as part of my like attempt to get away from Fourth Wing because I needed something up besides that and A Quarter of Thorns and Roses. I read Kingfisher and I did it on audiobook. Highly recommend because they have a male narrator and a female narrator. So
I
it
like
sounds
that.
like, and he's got like the deepest voice. Oh my gosh. And, but that one, like, this is not Zayden Ryerson and the way he proclaims his love. There are some good proclaiming love moments in it. However, it is a little filthy in parts, and there is a lot of really good banter back and forth between them, and it was so good. And I was like, when is the spicy scene? So like you can look this up on the internet. And I'm like,
without
I can
without the spoilers.
without the spoiler, you just know like it's gonna be chapter 22. So it's like,
That
okay,
way you're
cool.
not like listening to it
And
when you get to the school and you're in the car and you're listening out loud and all of a sudden they're talking about something.
I
Not that
learned
that
the hard
happens.
way that you can hear the audiobook on the outside of the car. So I no
Oh,
longer listen
Stephanie.
to the audiobook in the parking lot. We don't do that anymore. But anyway, we don't need to have another conversation with the Catholic preschool teacher. Um, anyway,
Hey, that
so
conversation had nothing to do with the
it did
books.
not, had nothing to do with it. But anyway, so I'm like stayed up. I was at my parents' place because the deal was they were going to run around after my children so I could work during the day over spring break. So I'm up there with them. And I start this book at like 7 o'clock at night on audio, and
Mhm.
I see that chapter 22 is going to be my chapter, and I'm like, I can make it to 22. I stayed up all night long. I did not sleep and was severely regretting my life choices the next day because I am a 40-year-old woman who is too afraid to admit to her parents that she did a dumb thing and stayed up all night long listening to a book. So I just plowed through the entire next day like I'd actually gotten an 8 hours sleep.
It's just like, I'm
It
just not
wasn't
feeling the greatest at the
it wasn't
evening.
staying up late listening to smut. That wasn't what I was doing. So then when the kids go to bed, my parents, it's like 8 o'clock. They're like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I just haven't been sleeping really
I
well.
just
I'm
haven't
gonna
been
go to
sleeping
bed
so well.
with the kids." Okay.
I'm really
It's my own
just
fault.
so glad that I got
Well,
you
it's
that
dogs and
sticker.
fairy smart. I need that so bad in my
It's
life
for
because that is
you.
me. It's
I
me.
I got it for you. And now I'm kind of wishing I gotten myself one.
There's probably still time. You
I don't
probably can
know.
locate this.
I mean, I'm also a big fan of this one for you. Small business, huge ass.
I mean, that describes me as well, I feel like.
We're she's working hard at the gym, folks.
I am. I'm down almost 25 pounds. So I'm excited about
Woohoo!
that. I went to the gym today and they're like, we close in 7 minutes. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'll see you tomorrow. I
I
was
would have
so
been like,
sad.
so I can get 5 minutes in.
No, but you told someone it was relation development versus page two and they're already in four. Yeah, well, yeah, that's pretty early on to have something like that going on.
Hmm.
I feel like in book two of a series, though, it's acceptable
Oh, it is.
for that.
Because you've already been forewarned.
Yes, you know what you're getting into.
So my computer is having a hot moment saying that
It's
it's
all
not
good.
plugged in. So hold on a seckie.
It's all good.
I got all my, let's see. Did my power go out over there or something? I gotta go hit my little button.
It's
I'll
all
be
good.
right back. I'm still
I'll
on. I'll
do
still be able to
I'll do a little
audio.
show and tell while you
That's
are
a good
doing it.
idea. So
So
I think my GFI clicked. That's all.
I went to a quilt retreat with my friends and I have been going um to quilt retreat with these ladies probably since I got married, maybe before I got married, so like 15 years. And there was a long time where we couldn't get together because of COVID. And so we were finally all back together and it was fabulous. It is a retreat center. It's a big house that a quilt shop about 45 minutes from me bought directly behind their building. So if you want to, you can literally walk across the alley and go to the quilt shop, but I was good and I did not do that this time. And it's set up completely for quilting. Like there's huge tables everywhere. There's literal design walls on the wall for you to put stuff on. They have like countertop height cutting mats all over the place for you. It's a fabulous place to be. So I was able to be there for about 2 full days, and I was able to make really good progress on my ornament collection quilt. We had made this as mug rugs for the shop well, a couple years ago. And then I decided I wanted a full quilt using Rifle Paper Company, and this has just been like my little funsy project that I've been working on a little bit at a time with no deadline because who cares when it gets done? Christmas is no time soon. So it was fun to just kind of
Christmas
hang out.
happens every year. So,
It
you
does.
got that going for you.
That is true. Although this one, maybe if I keep up with it, maybe I can get it done. Not that I don't have another Christmas quilt top that's totally done, except for needing to be quilted, but we won't talk about that right now. And
We do this every year.
we do. But
I'm here. I just ran upstairs to double check
no, you're good.
on my kids and get my thread because I just decided I'm going to work on my embroidery project and I don't have my thread. I thought I
Well,
had it all.
thread would be slightly important for that.
Yeah. That's why I was like looking around. It's like, can I use any of this stuff? No. No, I literally
So
can't.
Brittany's talking about the burn. I do appreciate the burn. The burn is good.
All
I
right.
enjoy, I think the Fourth Ring series does a good job of giving you a reason to have burn every book. And I'm not going to say any more because it gives too much away. But Rebecca Yarros, even though we know these characters are ride or die, she gives you burn in every single one of them and she finds a way. And she's very good at that.
Can you hold up one of your little ornaments so I can see
I
them?
will, so you can see them. So this is one of them. It's pinned
Oh, that's
together currently,
cute. You
but
know,
I had
that
a
would
lot
be
of
really
fun mixing
fun
it up.
as as a Japanese Chinese lantern type
You
quilt
totally
too.
could make it do that. That would absolutely work with like some Japanese metallics. That
Hmm.
would be really fun.
I'm working on my barn now for Penny. So
Oh, how is that
I
coming? Were you able to bring it
and
with? That's a portable
no,
one.
I didn't. I didn't bring this one with. I brought my English paper piecing. Look at these centers. I guess everything's a center in
Ooh,
this.
it
But
is like
and
a kaleidoscope
I
when
know
you look
I'm
into
working
it.
on these edges here. But this quilt is eating me alive. This is month 3. We're on month like 8. If it's
Oh
eating
well.
me alive, I can't imagine how other people are doing.
Well, you kind of took a little bit of a break, right? You got
Well,
you a
yes,
little
it sat in the
overwhelmed with it.
corner, but I've still been working. constantly on month 3 for at least 2 months.
That's okay.
So I
You knew
feel
it was
like,
going to take about 2 months to do it.
yeah, but if everything takes 2 months, I'm going to be in 4 years on this quilt. That's okay though,
That's
because
okay. It's all by
it's
hand.
humongous.
Yeah.
It's a king size quilt. So I'm working on my little barn, Penny's barn. Let's see, where is it? There's
Does
Penny's
Penny
barn.
know that it's going to be her barn?
No, I don't
Okay.
think so. Although she I think she's really going to like it. It has like all these little areas. It was a panel, and I'm going through and I'm trying to embroider. Of course, hold on one second. I've learned how to do this. There we go. Where am I? There we are. So here's the little chickens in their coop. Their little chicken eggs. Their little,
Oh,
$10 a piece eggs as it currently
probably not.
stands. I got to work on the bunnies over here and the rooster.
Yeah.
And then up in here I did kind of like a little chain stitch on the doors.
Oh, that's
And I
fun.
embroidered Penny's name on there and did.
Oh, I like the little like stitching you have on the top and the roof where it looks
Hmm.
like it's like wood grain
Yeah,
or like slats or something.
yeah, that turned out good. And then all of these have French knots in them. And then all the apple trees have little French knots because those are really fun to do. So I made the
That's
apple
fun.
trees all have them. And right now I'm working on the pigsty, going around the pigsty.
Very fun.
So, and then I'll trim it down. I think I'm going to bind it. It asks, so I have it separated. Like here's the back of it. So you can
Yeah.
see where all the
Yeah, you
stitching
can
is.
really see it there. That's fun
But
though.
they want you to like do it pillow style where you put it right
Hmm.
sides together and you sew it together and then you pull it out. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm kind of thinking about using it,
Well, you
doing it
wanted to
with
kind of hide it,
binding.
right? Yeah.
So anybody's opinion. I don't know if I want to bind it. They had it where they had like a little handles on each one of these because this is
You
like
could,
the inside.
because it's
They
supposed to
had
be like
little
a bag
handles,
type thing,
and so
right?
that it could fold up like this, and
Okay.
be her little barn or whatever. But it ended up having like four handles because of that. And
Yeah, it's kind of
I
weird.
don't know.
I don't know about that.
I loved the panel, but I felt like the instructions were very lax about what
I
to
feel
do.
like you could
They didn't have
easily,
any embroidery on there. I just decided that this one was the way to practice.
I feel like you could easily go with like a lining if you wanted. And maybe put like some SF 101 on it. So that way it gives it a little bit more stability and hides the backside of the embroidery if
Well,
you wanted to keep it more
because it's
open.
not supposed to open.
Okay.
It's supposed to be like this is one side of it and this is the other side of it. So they want you to literally turn it right sides together,
Oh, like
sew it
that.
all together, and then pull it out. And I'm kind of thinking for the amount of quilting I did that I will bind all the
I
way
think
around
binding would be a good solution in that for sure.
because I just don't think that it's going to come out as cleanly as I want. And I don't think I need the handles on it
No, I don't
like
think
they
she needs
suggested
that.
because I bought another one at the panel and it's
You should
supposed to
get her little barnyard animals, like tiny ones
they have
that she
little
can play
barn
with.
animals.
Do they?
So yeah, that's part of it. Part of the panel had I'll have to look up who it was. Part of the panel had little animals on it.
That's so cute.
So you have your little animals and you make them basically into small bean bags. And then I was debating if I wanted to put felt on the back and felt on each area. I did buy some soft-sided Velcro, like the stuff that you would use for like doll clothes or
Yeah.
anything that's going to be close to your skin.
Hmm.
So I did buy Velcro, but the Velcro is not this pretty cream color that's in here.
Yeah, it's hard to match Velcro, although they do come in quite a bit of colors now.
But not in that soft Velcro. And it's like I
Um,
don't know.
For doll clothes, you can find, I have like a bunch of colors, but I don't know that
Well,
that's like the
I
cream.
wasn't able to find any, and I was kind of
Etsy.
in a hurry at the time. Yeah, that you can find anything
Yeah,
on Etsy. But it has the little bowl and everything. And it has a little barn door that you can sew on part of it so you can lift the flap. Isn't that cute? Oh, buttons would
Colleen.
be kind of cute. I was kind of thinking I could use the I have
Colleen
those
says she
cam
does it
snaps.
on her lunch break as a very relaxing thing to do. That's fun.
I'm having a great time doing this. So I'm taking my time with it. I just need to get it done before she's too old to play with farm animals.
You have some time, I think.
I mean, I shouldn't have named it Penny's Barn. That way it could have been open-ended for any child that came open, to play with it. But this is still my favorite though, is the chickens and their little eggs
That's
and their
cute.
little nests and everything. And I don't know the names of all my stitches. I'm still learning them, but I'm coming a far way in embroidery now. Enough to know that I want to know embroidery to be able to hand quilt better, but I don't necessarily want to hand embroider everything.
I have enjoyed the little sample projects I've done with it. I still am working on like cross stitch stuff. I haven't finished stuff like that yet, but
Cross stitch is a little too directive for me.
is it?
It's not loose enough.
I am
It
not
didn't
at a
take me
point
long to figure that out either.
where I can freewheel it with like an embroidery situation yet. Like I need
Oh,
the
and
kit.
that's where I'm
I
finally
need the
at a point
kit
with most of
and that
it.
kind of thing.
I can do it. But I'm doing embroidery as a tool to quilt and
Yeah.
not necessarily as a tool to make an independent 3D looking object. Like
Hmm.
I couldn't sit down and embroider a cat.
Not your thing. You don't want to be the next
I
Laurel Birch.
I mean,
You'll
hello.
take that, probably.
She's right there. I got Bob Ross up here and Laurel over here. If I combine my forces together, do you think I end up with
Maybe,
something great?
maybe. I'm writing my own smut book, so you never know what you're
Anything is
capable of
possible. I mean, we used our little Bob Ross to actually
in your pregnancy
when
announcement.
yeah, because Penny was what you would call a happy little accident.
This is how, well, Chantal and I know each other, that I know exactly where you were going with that.
Yes,
Oh,
she was my happy little accident. So, and she's the greatest. I mean, all the kids are the greatest. All the kids have wonderful things about them. They all bring something to the table, but Penny brings chill. She's just like
that's because she's the third
very,
child.
she's just
She
so
just
agreeable.
exists in the chaos and
She
she's cool
exists
with
in the
it.
chaos and she actually really loves existing in the chaos and she's just really happy like all the time. And if she complains about something, we tend to give her what she wants, but it doesn't make her worse. Does that make any sense? Like
My
if I bow
second
to the needs of
is
my
definitely
others,
worse if you give it to her.
right. Like if you bow to the needs of most of my children, you pay, but not
Oh,
Penny.
I thoroughly got Angela frustrated with me today.
Uh-oh.
So I've been playing Taylor Swift Reputation on repeat because it's like my new theme song and or theme album.
Oh, I
And
love that one for sewing. Angry sewing
she's
is great with that
she's
one.
so sick of it. And she loves Taylor Swift. We have a rule often in our car when the kids won't stop fighting that we play Taylor Swift Essentials on Apple Music and no one is allowed to speak unless that they're singing Taylor Swift lyrics. And that usually calms things down. And but we've been playing it so much. She's like, you have to stop. I've heard this song too many times. Turn it off. And she's like literally doing this in the car.
You have to stop.
I'm just like, but you like Taylor Swift. She's like, not anymore. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Uh, so then I burst into her room after she went and was hiding from me and started singing one of the songs. And she
Oh no.
She's like, Mom. I feel like I
Yeah.
got my first taste of teenager Angela today.
Oh my gosh. But she is such a first child. Like, my son is not a typical first child, but he may be a first boy child. It's different.
Yeah,
Like, Angela could go to college and have most of it pulled together today.
probably,
You know, like
probably.
I would trust her to, given a year of advance, probably have it all together. Like that the kid really
She wants to
has
be
it
a
pulled
software
together.
engineer for NASA and has decided this for like the last 3 years. And this is her like goal in life. And she's like on the road. She does her coding classes.
She's
Like,
10.
yeah. And well, almost 11. You're going to be
That's
invited to a
true.
skating birthday party soon
Oh,
again, by the
good.
way.
I can't wait. I have not been skating in so long. And for those that don't know, I don't actually have my skates up in this sewing room, but I used to competitively artistic roller skate. And
She
I
did.
was an artistic dance and figure skater. And I did it even when I had children. So I started doing it again when I moved to Missouri. I must have been 27 or so. And I had my son like a year and a half later. I found out I was pregnant after I had a concussion and a broken wrist.
Oh, well, that was special.
Yeah. And they're like, "Are you pregnant?" And I was like, "No, couldn't be." We had been trying for a good year. At that point, it was like, "Nope, not pregnant." Didn't find out because they gave me a test or anything. Just happened to find out like not that long afterwards that I actually was after having a concussion and I
Whoopsie.
wasn't doing, and to be fair, I wasn't doing anything cool either of those times.
What were you
I
doing?
was,
Now you have to explain.
so the concussion, I was trying to do a 3-point turn. I basically was going from forward to backwards, which was very normal for anything I was doing. And I just slipped and fell backwards on my head.
See, you say you don't do anything physically on purpose, but this is what you used
Oh,
to
that
do and
is the
enjoy it.
thing. That is the thing I would do physically on purpose every day of my life if I could.
Yeah.
It's the only physical activity that I can say gives me that pure joy that I
I feel
basically I
that
I
way about
don't feel in any other situation. I just
I
don't.
f- I feel that way about swimming laps, but it is such a pain in the ass to wash and dry my hair that I like I'm
You need
never
to
in the
go
pool.
for, I don't know if you could pull off the short thing. I mean, I need
No,
to
I
wash
cannot.
my hair.
My hair is so thick that like it's so much of it. Like I'll take the headphones off.
I'm starting to
Like
wonder if I'm at the point
there's
where
so
I
much.
will never have long hair again.
I
It's just
mean,
not thick anymore. I don't know.
mine is very thick.
I've
I
had
may
long
have
hair, but
I showed
I don't know.
Adam like a AI Zayden, and I was like, "Do you think you could do this with your hair?" He's like, "No, it would never look like that if I grew it out." And I was like, "Damn,
Oh, somebody's here. Hold on.
you have a child." Let's see.
That's a husband.
Ooh, as a husband.
I thought it was it.
Brittany's all about
Yeah,
the
it's probably a
volleyball.
husband. Oh, see, I scored for the volleyball team, but I wasn't actually physically capable of like doing my legs and my arms at the same time. Like, do you know that scene in Mean Girls where she goes to hit the volleyball, where Karen goes to hit the volleyball and just goes and like
It's been a
basically
while
hits
since
it
I've
with her
seen the movie,
boobs?
but was that
Oh
you?
my gosh, that was me.
That
I
was
couldn't
you.
do it. For whatever reason, I
I
could put wheels on my feet and I can become incredibly graceful and
I
and
could
do
not
wonderful
do
things.
anything that required coordination. I could run cross country and track. I could swim. And
I
that
can't do
was
those things.
that was the extent of it. If you needed me to play softball and actually be able to catch or hit a ball, not gonna happen.
Yeah,
Meanwhile, my
I couldn't
husband
do
was
that
the
either.
starting quarterback of the football team, and I was the band geek. And I was like, if we would have met in high school, this never would have happened.
I
First
still
of
think
all,
it's
it would have
hilarious
been
that you were the
illegal.
band geek and didn't think to join band in college.
I know, but
You need a mulligan on that one.
I
If you ever
did.
get a chance to replay that,
Oh, there are many things I would do differently if I went back to college. Chief among them, not have a steady boyfriend in junior and senior year. But
oh man. I think I would have bought better Tupperware for the
is it
keggers.
bad that I cannot remember the last name of the guy I dated for 2 years in college?
No, I think we're just getting
We're
old.
getting old. What the heck? I'm like, what is his last name? I can't remember it. I literally,
Clearly, he was
I
so
loved
important
him.
to you.
I loved him at one point and dated him for 2 years, and I can't remember his last name.
You can't remember his last name because you're
No.
living your book boyfriends.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
Like it
what's wrong
wasn't
with me?
Zayden.
It was not. It definitely was not. Oh my goodness.
That's funny.
Literally almost got engaged to the man. I can't remember his last name.
Oh man. That's
Oh, Lord Almighty.
that's the ultimate hit
That's
right there
bad.
though.
That's really bad. Hopefully he's not ever following my
Well, as
career.
long as you
And
remember your
here's this.
husband's name
I do remember that. We're good.
so far.
I mean, when we're in the nursing home sewing, maybe we'll forget a few things.
I imagine we will.
Yes. Uh,
Which is the plan. We need to start funding for this.
I know, right? We need to buy long-term care insurance.
Okay, step one.
And step one, it's cheaper when you're our
This is the
age.
kind of weird outlines you need to be writing
I know,
in
right?
addition to those about our books that we've been reading.
Well, my like day job is marketing for a place that helps people get connected to um senior living
So
facilities. So I
long-term
do know
care.
a little bit more than the average bear. But yes, there's long-term care insurance and it helps pay for stuff like that. It is finite, like it does run out, so you don't want to use it too early, but like it's there if you need it. And then you just have to be smart about your 401ks and your pensions. But
See, it's our show, so we can talk about this if we want.
we
But
can. But our plan, this is Chantal and I's plan, is someday
Mhm,
we're going to take all of our sewing equipment and we're going to make the senior living community give us a room that we can outfit to have a whole quilting room that can be
mhm.
open to anybody, the whole community, it's fine. But the long arms will be there and the sewing machines and all the cutting spaces. And we're just going to go and we're going to quilt all day and hang out at the bar because a lot of these places have bars in them too. And it's
Or
like
we're sponsoring
it's
a
like
bar on the Irish family, Dr.
it's like
Irish's bar and
it's
grill.
cruise ship living in a lot of these places. Like your food is all there, you got your bar, you got your activities.
As long as you
Like
funded yourself right.
exactly. So save your money, get your long-term care insurance, and then you can join Chantal and I in the quilting room. And
Until then, join her in Alaska on her
I
cruise.
know, right? Oh, get a preview. But there are still a few spaces open for that. They would like to get four more people. So that is in
Oh my
July,
gosh, guys, do it.
13th through the
This
20th.
the most amazing experience going on one of these cruises.
It was so fun.
Oh, it was so
So fun.
good.
But
They really take care of you. And I'm not just saying that because, I get nothing from this. I want to go. Actually, John got the vacation week 2 weeks before, the week
yeah.
before, not the week of the cruise, the week after.
Oh, well, that's just unfortunate.
I was like, come on.
You could have been one of the last minute additions.
Oh, I would have been too. If I could have worked that out, I would have been there. I have to help. She needs my help.
I do. I
Yeah,
cannot
and then
survive
it would
without
have
you,
been just
Chantel.
me there taking it all in.
It's all good. DK says we need to build and design and maybe own this senior facility.
Well, that's possible too. I mean,
It could be.
that's John could have a whole, center for getting people into IR consultations there.
There's like a whole A
X-ray.
lot of them don't have physicians on staff, but now they're starting to have physician consultants, so he could do that.
Oh, he doesn't need that. He just needs to own, a CT
Yeah.
scanner basically, and
Yeah.
it'll work out.
I'm
We
sure
need to buy
they
ourselves a
could use them.
roof first. Let's think
That
now.
probably is more important.
We need to finish paying
Do your
off
roof
medical student loans.
and then go get yourself long-term care insurance.
We need to get our kids, eventually into college and our goddaughter into college. And then, but she just turned 16, our goddaughter did. So, that's
That's
on our
coming soon.
mind. Like, we know that we're covering that and she deserves it. But oh man, we're like 4 college tuitions. We can do this, right?
I realized the other day that because of the way my daughters are spaced out, I'm going to have 10 straight years of teenage girls in my house.
Ooh, ooh,
Yes.
ooh. I think
That's
I
going to
will
be really
too.
interesting. You might. How far apart are Penny and Hazel?
5 years,
Yep, you're going to have it too.
but like 6 full
Congratulations.
years.
Yep.
Like I'll
Congratulations
have
on that.
one in 6th grade when I have one as a senior. I believe it ends up working out that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. 33, 34, and 40 are their graduation years. I literally was thinking about
40.
this
Oh my
before
gosh. That's,
40.
I don't want to
No,
think about that, Chantal.
the year
That
40.
that makes me feel very old now.
But hey, that baby makes me look young,
She
right?
does.
Because I have a small child. I couldn't have been more than 22 when I had her, right?
I did shock the barista who was very surprised to learn that I am in fact 40. So I was like, that makes me feel really good. I thank you for that. I really
John
do.
John regularly when he asks patients how old they think he is, they think he's in his 50s.
Poor John.
He's still 39. But
Poor
as a
John.
physician, to be taken seriously and nobody wants a baby
No,
to
they
be
don't.
like their doctor, right? So he actually takes it as like a bit of a
A
compliment,
compliment. Well, that's
you
good, I
know?
guess. They actually respect him and trust him.
Well, that's the thing, right? Nobody wants your doctor to be under the age of 40, like ever. In fact, they would prefer that their doctor is older than them, if it's possible, up until a certain point at
This
which you're like,
sounds like me when I was starting to teach quilting and I was like
yes.
25, 26, and they're like, "Oh, are you taking the class?" I'm like, "I am teaching the class." And they're like my grandmother's age.
Yeah, they're like, well, yeah. And then me like teaching hand piecing, they're like, how do you know how to hand piece? Necessity, sweetheart. That's how.
That's how I keep my sanity when I'm at home with my children. That's what I do. That's probably why you're hand piecing your stuff all over the place. And I am walking around the house with an earbud in my ear
Oh, that's
24/7.
probably true.
And that's how
I
we get
always have
our
stitching on
different
my
things
counter.
done. Yes.
The problem is that getting all that stitching done, I'm actually been very good about having an earbud in one ear and I'm stitching at the same time. So I'm like double hobbying.
That is always a really good goal, I feel like, because then you
So,
can get both in.
ooh, I have a question for my project at hand. What's
All
everybody
right.
working on actually? I don't think
Oh
we
yeah,
ever
we
really
didn't do
asked.
that.
I got my pigs and they got their little slop pile. Should I
Oh,
add
that looks
little
fun.
puffs of slop?
Absolutely.
Look at my little pigs. Aren't
I
they
say
cute?
yes.
I think I might give them pink tails. I got to figure out something
That
to
would
do
be
for the little
adorable.
houses too.
Like a
See,
little
that's the
chain
problem.
stitch.
This project never ends because like every time I get somewhere, I'm like, oh, all these little wheats and stuff like that need a thing, and these all need little itty bitty French knots. And then I get around and I do a simple stitch, and then I'm like, they need a flower.
You're having a good time.
Oh, well, it's the project that like if you could feel this, you just feel all that texture from all the little
Yeah.
apples on the apple trees and the little beaks. on the little chickies.
Oh,
But then I've been looking through this book. Where is it up? By Sue Spargo on all the creative stitches that you can do in
hmm.
embroidery. So I'm trying to come up with things like there's one on how to do like a wagon wheel. And I'm like, well, my little tractor needs a wagon wheel. That's a good point, Brittany. Ask Penny what she wants me to add. I haven't told her that am even doing this for her because, you know, then there's the expectation that I'll finish it.
Who
It's
wants that?
who wants that? I mean, the point at which I'm at now, if I bound it up, I could still embroider all over it as long as I'm just taking those top layers. But I'm trying to do as much as I can. Like I did the little bunny's tail as a little
Hmm.
fluffy bit, but learning as we go.
And it's a fun project to learn on because at the end of the day, it's a kid's plaything. If it's not perfect, who cares? They're going to enjoy it.
Right. And you can be imaginative. You don't have to stay in in a box, it doesn't feel so serious. So it wants the bunny to have a fluffy tail. It wants the hay to have little pieces all over the place. It wants the pigs to have slop. It's a good
Hmm.
way to learn, you know, new tasks, new ways of doing things. I think I've finally perfected the French knot because I've done so many of them that it's starting to come to me really easily that
Feel
it
right. Yeah.
just I could just do them. I feel like this whole thing is just going to be embroidered all the way through. But and then I have my little animals that I need to do, but I just haven't quite decided how if I want to bind all of them. I hate making binding. It's not the worst part.
We all
Um,
know my thoughts on binding. Loathe.
loathe.
Intense hate.
So I'm kind of want to do it like, pillow style where I like fold them out and then just kind of zip up that area.
Oh, I
But
would
then
totally do that.
they won't be so crisp and cute. And I've taken so much time on this now that it
I
feels
mean, they
like,
could be. It depends on how you do it, like what you put inside of it.
well, I'm
If
just
you do
using
like
a
decor
thin
bond,
cotton. I'm just doing a
then
thin
it'll be
cotton
crisp.
batting in all of them.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, that's true. I could do a different type of, I just want it to all feel light and plushy and
Yeah, it'll definitely
yeah.
be thicker. I use that on placemats. I did decor bond on both sides and then fusible fleece on one. And
You
so it
know,
did have a little bit of puff to it, but it was very stiff. But you were able to get those really good corners.
I didn't think about kind of a quilt as you go. Like I could literally just quilt out the animals on the machine
Yeah,
and bind them.
that's a way around it.
I was still, I still have to do binding, but I have to make binding anyways. So if I'm already making binding, I might as well go ahead and make an extra X amount of feet of it. But I kind of do have to figure it out because I have the Velcro that I have to put on it. And
Put
I
on
don't
it.
want to
Yeah.
be putting Velcro on by hand.
No, you definitely need to do a little buttonhole stitch with that one.
That one's going to need a thing. But anyways, until I figure that out, I'm just going to embroider the heck out of this and just keep going and going and going and going until there's literally nowhere else to embroider on it.
Ooh,
And my
Brittany
child will be
suggested
8.
beads. That
Oh,
I would worry a little bit about with a kid though, because if they pop off, then they could be eaten.
I am loving the texture of the French knots. They feel like beads. I do
Yeah,
have a whole bunch of old buttons, but it turns out I was reading an article about um, American Girl dolls and using old buttons and things like that. And it turns out many buttons before, don't mark me on this, a certain year or whatever, have well beyond the limit of what you want for lead in them. So,
interesting.
yes. So, not so bad for an adult that's going to be like putting on a shirt or whatever, maybe not the best thing for a child's play toy, right? And a
Yeah.
lot of my buttons, I have a big button collection right up there, are antique buttons. And I'm like,
Well,
I
that's not
don't
going to work.
really, right. I don't really want to mess with that because even if the lead isn't that bad, you have multiple buttons and you have kids like rubbing it all over the item,
Yeah.
you know, eh, don't chew on the woodwork kind of thing. Have you been exposed to lead? Well, we've all been exposed to lead. We've all been in a house prior to like
I have to
1974
show
or
off.
whatever. Oh, it's so good.
I know. And I fussy cut that. And
That
my
one
daughter's
is perfect.
in the Nutcracker every year, which is why I love this collection
Oh, I
to
love that
start with.
collection too.
But yeah, I'm excited.
It's so good.
And they're all a little different. So like this one, the topper's different and it has different reds. So I really went through and made sure that no one would be the exact same when I was putting everything together.
That's so
So that was
cute.
really fun.
We're both working on cute projects.
We are. I
What is everybody
really,
saying? We have a whole bunch of stuff in here. Let's see.
what do we got? We're talking about stabilizer. Let's see. DK checked a book out from the library, is learning to embroider with beads on a pincushion. That sounds fun. I've
See, I
seen
think
where
that would be
people
really
do
fun.
it on headbands. Like create
Oh,
your own embroidered headband. That sounds fun. Um, let's see. Sue is following a crochet pattern in English for Granny Square, so that sounds fun. I don't really do patterns for crochet yet. I would like to evolve to that point, but I do like dishcloths and then like a temperature blanket that I haven't touched in a while.
I was thinking
I was
about picking up some
I
more
was very
crochet.
into it at the beginning of the year and then I like lost interest again. So
It
maybe
went
that'll be
temperate.
something I work on in very funny. In Jane Chantal loves the dad jokes. She
I
really
do.
does.
I'm so here for them.
But oh, look at this. Okay, so I let me pull it up. You can probably kind of see. Do you see the little
Hmm.
marks right where that 1/4 inch seam is? Right
Let
above
me
where my
get.
fingernails are. So I
Sorry,
mark
I did
it.
something to my screen and now I'm like, all right,
You
go
can see it
ahead.
really well here. So I mark that little line there, right a 1/4 inch edge from here, and then I do my 2 pinning method. So that way I can line it up perfect with where the ornament top is. And then when it presses out, look at how good that is. Like
Oh,
it is
wow.
lined up. I mean, this one's off just a smidge like on this side, but I mean, once that's quilted, you're never gonna know.
That's not really off a smidge. I
This
mean,
one
that's
is like
your definition of a
perfect.
smidge and mine are different.
Perfect on this one. So I did that for
I
like
love that
all of
one.
them. They're like, "Why are you marking this?" I'm like, "Because I am an anal retentive quilter and I can't just let it be and hope it
Well,
shows
you're
up."
also like, you can fudge it, but fudge
Yeah.
it when it's worth it.
Yeah. This to me is not worth it to be fudging it. I want it to be
Well, it
I mean, I've
makes it's against a white background. You're
yeah,
gonna
white
see that.
background. I've got a lot of contrast. Like this one has so much contrast between the red top and the blue. And then I've
Hmm.
worked really hard to fussy cut all this stuff. I've fussy cut out all of these situations. In some cases, I've also made it so that way I made sure the trees were all going up in the
Right.
right direction. Like I've spent so much time like making this.
These were a mug rug pattern,
Yeah,
right? So,
it
I
was a
mean,
mug
it's
rug
like you've
pattern,
made 100 different mug rugs
a lot, yeah.
and are putting
So
them together.
it is a mug rug pattern, but it also had instructions for different
Well,
sized quilts. So it's our only mug rug pattern that is not free because of that. But yeah, the second we did it just as a mug rug as one of our 12 Makes a Christmas projects one year, but I knew I needed it as like an actual quilt.
it's so
So
cute.
this has been in the works for a long time. And it's fun to just like work without a deadline. Like,
Hmm.
what's that? I don't know what that is. Like,
Yeah, my deadline for this project is like before she's 4, maybe.
yeah,
You know, it's loose. All my
yeah.
Christmas quilts are like before Christmas
Before
one year.
1 year. Doesn't matter which.
It's
Just as
not
long as it's
really
before I'm
important when.
dead. And if not, my children can finish it, and that's okay. They can.
That's totally fine. My dog is passed out and he's running right now, but he's sleeping. You can't see
Oh,
him down
that's
here. And
funny.
he's wiggling all my wires that are like plugging everything in. I wonder if I can get him in here.
How are the cut pieces attached to the fabric, Stephanie? Um,
Look
well,
at him
there's
run.
that's funny. This one is different. So we've got one big piece here, and then we're adding triangles to rectangles here. This one is teeny tiny rectangles. And then we have kind of frames that are going around. And then when it's done, there'll be frames on this side too. So I'm nowhere near done with this. And I have a whole nother stack that needs the tops ornament toppers pinned to the ornaments still. But I figured I'd take a break and do some pressing before I did any more of that. Because I like admiring my work in between. I like to like kind of work in sections rather than
My
do all of it.
my
Ooh,
stitches
this
have
one's fun.
become very even when I'm
Ooh,
quilting now
that is very good.
without
So
thinking about it.
I don't know if this is a thing everywhere, but there was somebody in Bellevue, Iowa, which is like maybe an hour from me, who she would teach it and she would call it Big Stitch. Um, and it would be with pearl cotton thread and it looked like that. And it's where the stitches were all about a 1/4 inch wide, but there also was about a 1/4 inch in between all of
Hmm.
them. And so I don't know if that was a term that's for everything, but
I mean, this is technically a running stitch, but big stitch
yeah,
quilting is essentially the same thing, which is part of
yeah,
the reason I'm figuring out embroidery. It has very little to do with the fact that I want to embroider a sunbonnet Sue,
yeah,
but a
that
lot
would be
more to
fun.
do with the fact that I want to improve my hand quilting because I have a lot of quilt tops and I have a lot of time upstairs where I could be quilting. But what I don't have is a machine upstairs and, little hands that aren't going to stick themselves into that machine.
I totally understand that. Jan, so the fussy cut pieces, those are just big rectangles, so that those are really easy to piece together. There's nothing fancy with that. If you ever grab the pattern, it's called Ornament Collection. You can get it on my website, shop.quiltaddictsanonymous.com, and all the instructions are in there with graphics to show you what goes where. But yeah, I'm
I
just
think
loving like looking at these as they come out. It's just so fun, and they're all
that
different.
is the beauty of like English
And this
paper piecing
has
for me is
like
like
gold
staring at
metallic,
it.
and so that's fun too.
Oh, that one is really good.
They're all
It's
good.
gonna look so good.
Rifle, oh my gosh. I'm not going to be able to use this though until Willow is no longer with us because Willow is a dirty, dirty dog.
She's
And
the one
it
that got the
just
screen dirty, right? Or was that Jelly Roll?
that would be Jelly Roll. Willow somehow is always has dirt in her jowls.
Ew.
And so, like, I right now need to change my pillowcase because she decided she would also like to sleep on the pillow last night. And there is a like brown dirt spot from where her mouth was. And I'm like,
Ew.
gross. I cannot
You're
have nice
gross,
things with you
dog.
around. Thank you so much.
Thanks for reminding me of my place
Oh,
as
the
your
people in
mother.
the ballerina on the fabric. So that was the design of the fabric was a nutcracker design. And so I fussy cut it so that those people would be dead center in the design when I was cutting on it. And I did it for pretty much everything. Like for these two, I fussy cut it to make sure that like the flowers would be intact in there as opposed to,
Half a
you know,
flower or
cutting them
whatever. Yeah.
off, like cutting it. And I really took a lot of time with this from the initial cutting stage. So this one is just a fun one, just for me.
It
And
wasn't just a strip cut kind of situation.
no, and I mean, there's some stuff that I did strip cut. Um, Like for
There are some
example,
patterns that always do a little better for that.
these top prints here and anything for the little toppers, that I just would have cut and let it fall because, the little metallic snowflakes look fine wherever you cut them. But
Like the Christmas lights look best
Chris
when,
the Christmas lights, I made sure those Christmas lights were going to be dead center. So, it's dependent on the print on what I chose to do with it. And those are just decisions you kind of have to make as you go. And there's nothing wrong with just slicing and dicing either. Like that is
no.
totally fine if you don't want to take time to do something like that. But it is something that I enjoy doing and slowing down that process. So that's why I took my time with it.
I actually find a lot of joy in finding fabrics that allow me to not have to do that. I mean, I do a lot of fussy cutting,
Obviously, with
clearly,
the
but
EPP.
there is a part of me that is overjoyed when I find a piece like the mineral print for Tula, where it's like, fussy cutting's not going to help me here. This is just too busy to be able to do it. Or a
Hmm.
solid. And you're like, ship, zip, 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 and you're done.
Yeah.
Um, but there's also the satisfaction of getting something perfectly in line. Like for the when I did the last quilt that I did with the kind of the 3D uh effect to it, I
Hmm.
fussy cut the little bears so that they would be on point, but I didn't fussy cut every single print in the entire line
Yeah.
because that just would have been,
Well, they
I would
don't
have had all,
always need it. You don't need it
no.
for everything. You need it for the ones that are going to have impact.
So we have a pig with a little pink tail now.
Oh, that is adorable. That was a good decision.
Yeah, so he needs a little pink tail now. I'm trying to decide how I'm going to make slop. Hmm. Any
I do
ideas,
not know
anybody?
enough about embroidery to know what stitches
I almost wonder if I'll do a little seed stitch and just kind of make a little mess
in there.
of the brown kind of coming out of it.
You could.
Maybe a little bit underneath of their feet. So it looks like they've been messy.
The little footprints.
Yep.
That could be fun.
Something. But that's the beauty of this project. It's like you just kind of try something, and if it doesn't work, there's so much going on that you're not noticing it.
Yeah. Or you could pick it out if you really don't like it.
Oh, yeah. And it's such small areas that you're doing it in, and it doesn't matter so much. So
Uh,
I did pick
I
out one thing.
I 100% recommend my iron,
I
DK.
agree. I got the pink
Um,
one.
yeah, I've
Doop,
got the
doop, doop.
Aliso. You can see if I pull it back far enough, when you let go of it, it comes up. So you're not
Hmm.
constantly doing this with the iron. So it's better on your wrist. And then also, it does have an automatic shut off, but it doesn't turn off for like 30 minutes, which is really great for quilters because I've had irons before where I'm like ironing a border strip and the thing shuts off while I'm still ironing the border strip, and you got to do one of these to turn it back on.
It's like how
It
hairdressers want their hair irons to not turn off for
Yeah,
an hour, but you want your hair iron to turn off in 10 minutes because clearly you just walked away.
yeah.
But like these ones, yeah, the auto lift, the likelihood of it tipping over is
It
so much
actually,
lower.
so we used to have a podcast years ago for the business, and I got to interview the guy who invented it,
Oh, did you
and
really?
I
Wasn't it
did.
kind of a mistake? Like he did it for a
Well,
project or
it was
something
for
like
a
that.
school project, and he was supposed to rethink and re-engineer a product that already existed to make it better. And he was looking at the iron and he was thinking, well, this is dumb because it's really off
It's true.
balance and you could injure yourself by getting your arm on it. I have one hell of a scar on the inside of my elbow from burning myself with an iron. And as a professional quilter, not as a layman, like well into my professional quilting journey when I did it. And he's like, so let's see what we can do. And the eye touch technology was where it reacts to your touch was like before cell phones were doing it. So it was very ahead of its time and obviously really took off. But what I really love about it is because it gets so hot, the blocks get so flat. And so if you
Hmm.
combine that with like a little bit of a spray mister, like you have never seen blocks this flat. And the last one I had, this is my second one, it lasted for 7 years before it finally died. And
Continual
so
use.
yeah,
You have
continual
to.
use and working hard. Like I use the iron. I mean, I was doing a quilt a month minimum, plus my team was doing stuff, plus we had classes that would use it, and it was used hard for 7 years and before it went kaput. And I don't ever put water in it because every iron I've ever put water in eventually spits gunk, so I just don't mess with that. And if I feel like I need water, I'll use it as a spray bottle to put on it, and that's how I get around that. But yeah, I love it. I do
Now I've
not
had
recommend their
mine.
travel iron. I don't love that
Oh,
one.
I have the
Not my
newer
favorite.
travel iron. So two things. I've had mine for 5 years. I do put water in mine for the steam function. And I've never had trouble with it at all. I don't put as much water in it anymore because I've kind of changed my method of ironing and pressing. Um, I have the newer travel iron versus the older travel iron. I had that one too. The newer one, the handle doesn't get near as hot. The travel iron doesn't lift itself.
No,
So
it does not.
it's not
It
quite the
does
same.
come with like a hot plate to put on it though, so
Hmm.
that you
And I
can,
still don't
because
feel
you
good
can't
about
stand
that.
it up. I don't either. I feel like it's not sturdy enough to stay put.
And
It's
I
definitely
worry
not
about the
something I would
concern,
use around the kids.
right? But it does get really hot for a small iron. It's kind of amazing how well it works. I like it for my small projects, but I would suggest getting the newer one versus the older one because the older one had troubles with it getting too hot in the handle.
I must have the newer one too because I have never noticed that with
Oh,
mine.
really? I mean, the newer one came out like a year ago.
Okay, maybe not. But I've
So
not noticed that
I
with
had
mine.
trouble with the hotness in the handle. I have the newer Tula one, and
Okay.
I really like that little iron. It does a great job. But I use it mostly for travel, and this one that back here is the workhorse. We
This
got
one
two
is super
pigs.
fun.
Oh,
It's
that
like a
one
little
is so
Dickens
cute.
village.
It is a
It's so
little
fun.
Dickens village. We're all about Christmas here. So both
We
my
are.
pigs have little curly pink tails now. Now I need to make some slop.
Brittany says you should have slop splashing out with
Yeah,
droplets
that's what
coming
I'm
up and out.
thinking. I'm thinking a seed stitch where it just kind of is a little bit random in probably
Like a
this
little
color
swirl around it,
here.
maybe.
So it looks like, I don't know. We're just going to go for it because that's what this
Might as
project's
well.
about.
It's all good. There are no rules.
This project's a little bit less about thinking and a little more about just getting texture on the item. It takes away a lot of the fear of trying something new, right? Like you don't have to
This is
worry so much about it.
pretty much the print that like sold me on using this collection.
Oh yeah.
My daughter does the Nutcracker every year, and my younger one wants to do it when she's old enough too, and they're very, very in love with it. It is dominates our entire fall and early winter.
It does. Trying to find a date where we could meet to
To
do
do
our
cookies
cookies. It goes full circle here. To find a
around
date when we
when
could go.
Nutcracker rehearsal was.
Yep.
That was like the main thing that we had to work around.
Trying to decide what to do here. Okay. We're going for it.
We also have nutcrackers in our house year round.
We do too.
Yes. It's part of the girls' decoration in their room and um in our hallway, and it's just
I have a
part of our lives.
lumberjack that I really like. I leave him out.
Ooh, Brittany says apple cores on the ground.
Oh,
Are you
that's a good
skilled
idea,
enough
but
to
I
do
don't know how
apple
to make an
cores?
apple core. No. I don't
I
think
don't
I
think
want
I
to be
would be
skilled
either.
enough to do an apple core. I might
You
make
don't
some
want to
little.
be a Regency lady who like that's her life's purpose is to embroider apple cores.
I was trying to explain to my husband that I am quite the upstairs lady if he, I played the piano forte and I am good at needlepoint. All right. Like, I am clearly not a lady of the downstairs,
Yes.
right? But I'm a little snarky and I'm well read because I've, been educated. I was trying to explain him that, and he's like, "You read too many books."
It is
Okay,
all
this
good.
looks kind of cute.
I still have to actually read the Bridgerton series, though. I've not done that. I have them all.
I read a couple of them years ago when they actually came out because that's my genre.
I pulled her kicking and screaming into romantasy, is what's happened here.
It basically is, yes.
I think you've enjoyed it somewhat.
Oh yeah, no, definitely enjoyed it, but it is a departure from my normal.
Your ladies are not going to be wielding swords and magic.
No, there's not a lot of magic, although I love a good like post-apocalyptic type story. So really, I mean, this is not too far from it. Once you get to the magic stuff, it's kind of like post-apocalyptic in its own way.
Yeah,
Like not the fantasy post-apocalyptic. They just seem to go together.
that does make sense. Oh, pinning time.
Oh, boring.
I know. It's not my favorite. All right.
I feel like I'm probably going to like curse myself, but I feel like I'm going to stay up late tonight.
Well, I would do that, but I have to run children everywhere tomorrow.
And I
But I
got
may also stay up
some
late
activities.
because I just wrote a
I
really
still
good
have
line,
like
Chantal.
daydreams to finish. I
It
know
was a
you gotta.
really good line, and I've got to follow that up. I'm not
I don't
trying to
blame
write
you.
like all the dialogue. I'm trying to write like the fun bits that are
It
in my
gives you
head
direction.
that
Okay,
I don't want to lose.
we have pig slop.
Oh, that's cute. That totally works because it's like
It's
not
just
too much. It
it's
like
just
is
kind of
loose
like a
enough to go
mess.
with the print. I like it.
Yeah, I'm trying not to overwhelm it because eventually there's like a little pig that gets stuck on here if he wants to, right?
Yeah,
So don't want it to be too overwhelming.
makes
What
sense.
time is it? What have we
It
done?
is.
We've done good so
We
far.
have done good. I figure like maybe half hour more.
Yeah,
Pin
totally.
a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. This is what the mug ruts look like for all you folks at home. So you can
It's
just
like
make
mug
one.
rugs without all the binding.
You just make one or four, whatever you want for a set with your scraps from your Christmas projects,
I'm
or you
opening
can
another
go
high
nuts.
noon.
You know,
Where's your high noon?
I drank them all last weekend, Chantal. Uh,
I got her onto these. It's
I am not sure how many I made. I think I'm doing the lap, which is 92, no, 68 blocks, but I couldn't tell you because I lost count and we'll figure it out when it comes together. That is a good
that is
part
a
about being the
tomorrow
pattern
Stephanie
designer.
problem.
Well, but here's the part of being a pattern designer. If it ends up not being the exact size of the original, I can figure it out and it doesn't matter. I'll make it work.
You're
So,
like, I have a throw pillow, or I will
well,
make a
it's
few more.
definitely going to be big. It's going to be big enough for a quilt, that's for sure. But yes, this is tomorrow Stephanie's problem. Stephanie of today is just worried about having fun making the
I
block.
try to live that way. I'm like, let it be a tomorrow Stephanie problem,
Do you
Chantal.
like actually think this in your head?
No, I really do. It is exactly like that. It's never a tomorrow Chantal problem. It's like a tomorrow Stephanie problem. Like, live vicariously through that mindset. You can do it. And then I'm like, my mind is
So,
just
did or how aware of you were, or how aware of you I cannot speak. It's like I
speak.
have been drinking high noons. Um, how aware were you that that is pretty much how my life rolls? Is that if I do not need to know about it right now, I am not going to know about it until the time
That just
comes for it to be a new
hurts.
thing.
That
Like, like was that
mm,
something that when we were traveling, you were like, Stephanie, how do you live your life like this? Or were you aware that that's kind of how it was before?
I was aware, but I thought it was because everything was just going too fast.
I mean, that is
Not that it was
generally
an
my life.
actual like theory you lived on.
I mean, it works for me.
Exactly. But I'm saying I realized that you lived like that, but I did not realize that it wasn't because you had to.
This no judgment at all from you, Chantel, huh? Oh goodness.
I'm like, I wish I could do that. But I try to make everything a tomorrow Stephanie problem, and then Stephanie never comes and solves my problem.
I came and solved
That's
your
true.
shipping problem.
You did. That
I
was very
did.
helpful.
Not that
Sometimes
you've
I
done
get
anything
stuck
with it.
on the most basic thing. I just can't move beyond something. And
Oh, that's
Stephanie sweeps
everybody.
in.
That's
Oh,
everybody.
I feel like I was just so stuck on like I don't know all the steps. I don't know in what order to take them. I don't know what to do. And she just comes in and she's like, we do this, we do this, we do this. And I'm like, can we take a break? She's like, we just started. You remember that? Like, can
I
I need a break?
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
So I everybody does that though. Like this week, I had to get something done, and I've been putting off parts of this task for 6 months. And I was like, I just have to get it done. It needs to be done. I need to move on from this part of my life. And so I told my husband, I was like, we're tag teaming this. You're going to call these people. I'm calling these people. And then we're just going to send in the paperwork. And we went through this task that I've been putting off for 6 months that I've been dreading. Like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? We went through it in maybe an hour by tag
Oh
teaming it and
no.
getting it done. And I'm like, why do I do this to myself? Like, make it into this big thing and it's
I
like,
do that with every task. Every
it's
single
not.
task.
It really is just not. But
Every single task that's in front of me seems like the biggest task I've ever had to deal with. I don't know
I think
why.
it helped though that I got like him involved. Because like when it comes to like running of the household, like he does a lot in the day to day. But anything that involves big decisions or anything with finance, it's on me. And I was like, we're splitting this down the middle. You're doing this, I'm doing that. Let's get it done. And it worked. And we actually finished it. And I was like, shit, Stephanie, why don't you do this more often? Because
Why didn't we do this before? It was stressing me out.
I know. Oh, goodness. I'm a mess, Chantel, sometimes.
Oh no, it's okay. I am a mess too. This is why we send each other memes about being a mess and
And
then
how
we
we both
giggle.
organize that we are messes.
We are organized messes.
We are slightly.
We at least have recognized the problem.
My husband came in today. My in-laws have been in Arizona for like 6 weeks. And during the time they were gone, they purchased a hog, like a quarter hog or something, and my sister-in-law brought it to their freezer. And apparently they're coming out to visit us with part of this hog. And my husband warns me that this is probably an imminent thing. And I was like, so we have to clean our house? And he's like, well, that, and I think we should take down the Christmas tree.
Oh no.
I'm like, yeah, maybe this is a good Sunday task for us.
Oh man. Yeah, the Christmas tree. I'm still getting random things out, but I think I have all the Christmas out. But I don't think I've ever seen my daughter's room actually clean since we moved into this house.
I feel that sentiment often
Or like the
as
hallways.
well.
There's just storage in the hallways.
Yep.
Shouldn't be storage in the hallways, but there is. There's paperwork that lives in the dining room.
That's better than under our bed.
Oh, I feel like
So
under your bed might actually be the better place compared to me keeping on the floor by the Roomba, you know?
I need to get my Roomba working again.
Okay,
That would
my
solve a
Roomba
lot of
can't
my dog
run.
hair problem.
My Roomba can't run because there's so many
Oh,
random toys.
Brittany has a Christmas tree still up. This makes me feel so much
Oh, and
better.
she's moving, so it's staying.
I literally have not taken down one Christmas decoration. Not one.
You're so festive.
I know. My dad's like, you should just leave it up at this point, put some egg decorations on it.
That's a great idea.
It's a thought.
I mean, yeah, my Christmas stuff is so overwhelming that I'm very excited to see it down
Oh, I'm
occasionally.
very ready, but it's just a matter of making time to do anything about it. Because I'd rather be reading books about fictional characters and escaping my life. And
Maybe while you're listening, Zayden can help you.
Zayden and his shadows can take down all my Christmas decorations.
That would be great.
Oh, that would be fabulous. Oh, I giggle. You're gonna love that book when you get to it.
I know, I'm going to it next.
You're gonna love Tarn, the cranky, grumpy dragon,
Yeah, that sounds
who's
about
very
right.
sarcastic. Like, hands down, after all the Zayden I love you lines, Taryn's lines, best lines, best lines.
So, I'm sorry, is Zayden a dragon or a person?
Zayden is a sexy, sexy man.
Okay, I was going to say, because if
He
you have a
feels like a
lust for a
man
dragon,
He feels like a man child though, because he's 23 and I'm way too old to be thinking about a 23-year-old in the way that I think about Zayden Ryerson.
that's true.
But
I mean, he's somebody you babysat, right? Like,
I know, like I'm literally 17 years older and than this fictional character. Like, yeah, this is not good.
no, no, that should be frowned upon.
Is Brittany saying yes about Taryn's lines or about being too old? We don't eat our allies. That is a good line. My personal favorite is should I get the wing leader when she's trying to wield the next day and she can't figure out how to do it
Everybody else
without.
is lost. They're like, they have
Yes.
no idea what's going on.
That is my favorite line of Terrence. It's pretty
We don't
entertaining.
eat our allies sounds a lot like a kid's book that's like, we don't eat our classmates
Yes.
that we have. So I like that. I mean, that's general good neighborhood, you know, kind of behavior. Like
It
you
is.
don't eat your neighbor, you don't eat your friends, you don't eat the people that you want to be like friends with, you don't eat your allies, you don't eat your classmates, you know. I mean,
Brittany agrees with my line. You're gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna tell
oh,
you.
I think I probably will, which is why even when I finish this book, even though I'm going to be deep into all of it, I'm still after the second book of Thorns and Roses are moving on to Fourth Wing
You're
because I feel like I need a
Yes.
different pace.
I'm gonna
And then I'm
recommend the
moving on to
dramatized
Crescent
version for
City.
you. I'm gonna recommend the dramatized version for you for
I
your
think I
first
already
one.
bought the regular version.
That's fine too. But
Actually, no, I didn't. I think Audible had it or Kindle had it or something like that.
it's
Hold
good.
on. Oh,
I've
what is
now
going
listened
on?
to the regular one, read it in on paper, and listened to dramatized. And yes,
Yes, Mist and Fury is what I'm on. And
where are you at?
I'm not to chapter 55. I'm on chapter 44 or something like that.
You're getting there. What's
I just
happening?
got to the Illyrian camp.
Oh, you're so close to a good chapter, Chantal.
I know.
You're like
It's
maybe two
probably going to
chapters
be
away.
me. It's going to be me eating my uh Portillo's salad down here until 2 in the morning listening to books.
You, yep. I'm not going to say anything. I can't say anything,
No
Chantal.
other comments. She's just like, yep.
I can't say anything. You're right on the cusp
I
of
know it.
finally being like, oh. It's happening now.
I'm not getting to
So
55 tonight,
no,
but
but you're gonna get to a good one.
okay.
It's
Well,
right after the Illyrian camp. You're gonna need to text me. You'll know what it is when you get to it. You're gonna need to text me. I'll probably be awake.
she's like,
Oh,
I'm staying up for this, so
yes.
you need to. Yeah.
This is like the time when I was like, can we get off early? Because I literally have a spicy scene queued up to run as soon as we're done with this.
Oh man. We love being with you
Ah,
all, and we're so glad that you want to hear us banter, but we are weirdos. We just want to go and like be introverts again when we're done with this and like read our books and then be like, hey, weirdo friend, let's guess what I just read.
oh goodness.
Look what I made. Look what I read.
This meme describes us perfectly.
Let's speak in pictures because we have no way of communicating. Yeah.
Oh goodness.
Oh my God, it's so true though.
I feel like the meme in Step Brothers were like, did we just become best friends? Like, I feel like we have so
Did we?
many of those moments between us.
There's been some good Step
You
Brothers
should have
memes
soup.
floating out again.
She's not ready for the soup. She's not that far yet, Brittany.
Wait, see,
Maybe tomorrow there will be soup.
I'm eating salad today, Brittany, because I have no idea what it means.
Rhysand eats some soup in chapter 54. That's all
In
you need to know.
54.
In 54, it's a significant
Ah,
moment of him eating some soup.
girl, girls, both of you,
Oh,
troublemakers.
we are. You're going to be like me, listening to Kingfisher all night long, regretting your life decisions tomorrow as you trudge
Yeah,
through life.
especially since John's still on call and he didn't get a hold of me. He didn't text me or anything. So I have no idea what I'm walking into for tomorrow, if he's even going to be here when I wake up. Who knows?
It'll be
I
good.
still haven't made it to the machine. I'm still like,
I do want to warn you that there's a bit of a cliffhanger at the end of Mist and Fury.
so what chapter should I get to before I stop?
I'll have to look that up for you.
Thank
You'll
you.
know. You'll know.
My dog, my dog down here is just like, hold on.
So they're about to go train in the woods, right?
Oh, I woke him up doing that.
They're about to go
Okay.
train in the woods. Is that
Hmm.
what's about to happen?
They're about to, they just got to the Illyrian camp and it was just the starfall, whatever.
Yeah, and they're gonna go train in the woods together to power her, figure out how she can do her things.
Yeah, but I haven't like gotten to the part where they say that.
Okay.
But yes,
You
essentially.
want to stay for the training and you want to stay for what happens after the training.
I want to stay up until at least two.
You do not need to stay up till these two. I'm gonna Google this for you.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. This is a quilting show, but as you can
It
see,
is
we're slowly making a transition to books. We ah, such an open-ended format.
48. You need 48.
Oh my God. Let's see. Where's my phone? I gotta find it. Dear phone, I am not asleep yet. It says it's on this table somewhere. Oh, there it is. Whoop, there it is. All right, let's see where I actually am. I'm in 45.
See, you can do this. It's gonna be worth it.
And
Totally gonna
I
be worth
have
it.
That one's short. That one's pretty short. Yeah, I have like an hour and a half.
We're totally cutting it at 11:30. Chantel's got to get to 45 minutes. It has to be done. And then you and I need to have a conversation tomorrow afternoon.
That's fair.
Yes. You're
What time is it even? It's 11:15. I
We
feel
got
like
15 minutes left and we could cut it. I mean, Brittany's literally the only one saying you should have soup at this point. Yeah,
well, Brittany's my girl. She's like,
she is
she
your
needs to
girl.
read. She needs to read.
Oh, she can't sew right now, so she's derailing our convo.
That's okay.
That's funny. Ah,
Oh yeah.
it's funny.
That's what I need a we can do it. Yeah, my
Yeah.
headband
I
can
have
do it.
a we can do it type thing that has a mask. Someone wearing a mask from when we were sewing all the masks. I still wear that shirt all the time.
That's funny.
My 5-year-old who like was 6 weeks old when COVID shut everything down. She's like,
A
"What are
child of the
they doing?"
quarantine. The
Basically,
amount
she's
of
like,
people that have not heard that, the child of the quarantine, I'm like, I have a child of the quarantine. And they laugh really hard because it's like, the children of the corn,
"Yeah."
but children of the quarantine. I'm like,
Technically,
that's what their generation is.
mine was not a COVID baby. Like she existed beforehand. She wasn't because I was bored at home, because I certainly was not bored at home. I was desperately trying to make a business run and homeschool a child. But yeah, I don't
I
want to
mess
repeat any of that
no.
ever.
I messed up my pages somehow on the screen now.
Oh
Now I can
no,
only see myself. Well,
that's okay.
oops. Oh, there you are.
Did you find me again?
It's just in a different format than normal, and so I don't know. It's almost working.
It's all
There we
good.
go.
I clearly
I,
was off my
I
game
think
this today as
think I've
well.
been wearing this sweatshirt for a few days now. Probably time to go get changed.
I got mine on before I went to the gym, only to find out that I couldn't go to the gym. But have you ever, so I did not have my
Mhm.
proper clothing that I normally wear. And I went to the gym and I have on white pants. And I did not realize until I got home that I was wearing black underwear. And I was like, thank God I was not allowed to walk at the gym for an hour in front of probably some old man in my white pants and black underwear
He
hanging through
would have
while I got all sweaty. Thank God that was not allowed to happen. It's so
he would have
embarrassing.
had a personal record for
Maybe
like following you.
I may have.
You just never know.
Oh,
I think
goodness.
we need to cut it early. I have to read this book.
You have to. It's a required reading.
It's it's in the yeah, it's like
You will
familial
have
family
so
required reading.
you will have so much, like I know you've been waiting to have a moment, and it is a very slow
You've been
burn in this book.
dragging on and
Such a
on and
slow moment.
on and on. And apparently my
And
tablet's about to die, even though it's plugged in. Who knows why?
so we're gonna go. Chantal has priorities.
We have books
They're
to read
very good priorities. We all recommend you read ACOTAR and Fourth Wing.
if you can
We
handle
can
it.
join in the book club next week. Alrighty. Bye, everyone.
Bye,
Thank you
everyone. We'll see you later.
for joining us tonight. We'll see you next Friday.